My name is Eleni, and I'm a researcher at the University of St. Andrews. I'm here to answer your questions about ancient Greek and Roman myths. Vicky asked, what is your favourite mythological monster? That was an incredibly hard question to answer, because I love all of them. They all have incredibly interesting stories behind them. But I ended up picking the father of all monsters, Typhon. So let's follow the description of Typhon according to an ancient Greek author. Now, Typhon is said to be a combination between a human and a beast. Cool. He was larger than all humans. To be expected, maybe. So his thighs were apparently the shape of human thighs, but they were larger than that. They were actually larger than mountains. Alright. His arms could reach out and touch the west on the one hand and the east on the other. He had wild long hair. His head could touch the stars, and his eyes flashed fire, and he could breathe fire apparently too, because all of this wasn't enough. And in addition to all of that, his legs had snakes twisting around them, and when someone annoyed the snakes, which honestly I don't know why you would do that, but when someone annoyed the snakes, they could stretch and reach up to his head, which, remember, his head was touching the stars, so yeah. Also, apparently he had wings all over his body. I really love that description, so I gave it a go. I tried to draw it, but I'm not very good at art, so if any of you want to have a go at drawing Typhon, please do. So now you might wonder, why did you pick Typhon? What story was he in? Well, I picked Typhon because he gives Zeus, king of the gods and Greek god of thunder, the fight of his life. And I don't really like Zeus. He might be the king of the gods, but he causes problems for so many people in Greek mythology. He just gets on my nerves sometimes. So I figured I would tell you the story of their fight, because it's really interesting and also very weird. So, Typhon and Zeus begin fighting, and Zeus grabs his trusty weapon, the thunderbolt, and he zaps Typhon with it. And Typhon is wounded, but he's okay, relatively speaking, and other people really wouldn't be. Zeus kills people with that thunderbolt. So Zeus is like, fine, and grabs another weapon called a sickle. So that sickle is apparently made out of adamantine, which is a metal used by gods in Greek myth. It's not real, but apparently Zeus has it. So he's like, I've got this amazing weapon, here you go, and hits Typhon. And Typhon is actually really wounded at that point, and he thinks, oh no, my wings are not helping. So he decides, I'm gonna wrestle Zeus, and he falls on top of Zeus, and they start wrestling. And at that point, Typhon's like, I've got an idea. So, in our hands, we have bones and muscles, right? So, the bones are tied to the muscle with a thing called a tendon. Tendons are what allows our muscles to move our bones so we can move around. So what Typhon does is he's like, I've got weapons too, and he cuts Zeus's tendons from his hands and feet, and he's like, now you're not going to go anywhere, you're literally not going to move. And Zeus is like, and he picks Zeus up, takes him to an island, and dumps him in a cave. And then he collects the tendons and he says, I'm going to give them to a she-dragon, and she's going to guard them for me. And that's what he does. So Typhon leaves, and to his bad luck, Zeus has a trusted army of gods to help him. So 2 of these gods go and steal the tendons back and replace them, put them back in Zeus' body. Now, that is because they're gods. If that had happened to any normal person, they would have died. So, yeah, it's weird, it's myth. Anyway, Zeus is understandably angry at that point, so he says, you know what, thunderbolts it is. He picks up all of his thunderbolts and he begins throwing them at Typhon. And Typhon is actually hurt, but he's still not done. Nope, fight's not over. So Zeus gets really mad, and he literally picks up a mountain and throws it at Typhon. And he buries him under it. That's how he wins. He buries Typhon under a mountain. And apparently that mountain became a volcano because Typhon was still breathing fire, and so lava came out of it.